Hello, this is Edge Messaging's Brian Fraley. For the last several months, Edge Messaging has been proud to sponsor the Daily Takes News Burst, and we will continue to do so for the remainder of this year. But on this, the eve of the election, we wanted to offer our personal reflections on what is about to happen. Somebody is going to be shocked when this is all over. Whether this is a close election or a blowout, a good quarter of the American people are going to be shocked. I just hope the shock doesn't lead to anger that fuels violent destruction and chaos. If you're a diehard supporter of President Trump, you see the huge rallies, the boat parades, the traffic jams, the social media dominance, and you just know that your guy is going to shock the world again. You believe the red wave is going to prove the political class wrong for the second time in as many national elections. The swamp and their media allies will be embarrassed, and you just can't wait. If you believe the polls, and you feel in your bones that America is poised to reject the president, you just know that Vice President Biden is on the cusp of a change election. Despite being hampered by restrictions due to the current public health crisis, you've seen him learn from the mistakes of 2016. He's put together strong organizations throughout the upper Midwest. He's rebuilt that famous blue wall. The money advantage is significant, and you know he's going to win, and you just can't wait. Well, one of these two groups, which each number in the tens of millions, is going to be shocked on Wednesday or whenever the final votes are tallied. Hey, as someone who's run a lot of campaigns, I've won my share of shocking races, but clearly the stakes here are much higher, and so is the potential for post-election danger and chaos. While there are tens of millions of people who will be shocked when the dust settles on the 2020 presidential race, there's a much smaller, radical sliver who will be hell-bent on chaos. Their actions must be prevented if possible and thoroughly rebuked and prosecuted if not possible. Radicals on the far left and the far right have already threatened violence. Some self-styled militias believe that any result that does not end with the re-election of the president is tantamount to a coup that must be resisted. Anarchists on the left believe anything short of repudiation of the president is a sign that the system is rigged and therefore must be burned to the ground. From violent riots across America this year to the thwarted plot to abduct and try the governor of the state of Michigan, it's clear that no matter how small, these movements have the wherewithal to act, and they shouldn't be taken lightly, no matter how ridiculous they look or how ridiculous their ideas are. I worry that the election results could give these sowers of hate some fertile fields in which to have their radical ideology and plans grow. There's ample evidence already that these tiny, violent voices are amplified on social media and elsewhere by foreign governments who don't really care who wins. They just want to foment chaos here because a distracted and divided America leads to destabilization in the world and an opportunity for others to profit. Whether the results are decisive or narrow, many millions of Americans are going to be shocked. And thanks to Maine and Nebraska's foolhardy tinkering with the Electoral College, it's even possible that the end result could be a 269 to 269 tie. Please note that such an outcome would not create a constitutional crisis. Despite what some pundits may say, if that were to arise, it would just prompt a constitutional process for state congressional delegations to participate in the selection process. It's not an unforeseen crisis. In fact, it was spelled out by our founding fathers in Article 2, Section 1, Clause 3 of the U.S. Constitution. Nor would it be unprecedented. There have been 3 such contingent elections. Now, they all took place in the 19th century, so it would be extraordinary, but it would not be a crisis, nor would it be an excuse for violent chaos. We've been a politically divided nation for a couple of decades now, but the friction doesn't need to lead to fissures. I echo the thoughts of John F. Kennedy. 8 years before I was born and 4 months before he was elected President of the United States, he said, quote, "I think the American people expect more from us than cries of indignation and attack. These times are too grave, the challenge is too urgent, and the stakes too high to permit the customary passions of political debate. We are not here to curse the darkness, but to light the candle that can guide us through that darkness to a safe and sane future. If such a sentiment was true 60 years ago, it most certainly is true today. No matter what happens Tuesday night or whenever the final votes are counted, all of us still have a responsibility to our families, our neighbors, our community, not to merely curse the darkness wherever we see it, but to be the beacon of hope for a better way. Our words matter, our actions matter. It's my fervent prayer that regardless of the final electoral vote, whether your guy won or lost, that all of us shun those who advocate hate, who rage, who loot, who seek to destroy, and who thrive on the chaos. Every election is the most important one of our lifetime. But this year, the several months after the election, may be the most pivotal period in American history since the mid-1800s. It's not a partisan statement to say, may God bless America.